Welcome to my LiteHouse, my tiny trailer. It's a tiny trailer, a fiberglass trailer, and it is, something you can stand up in. I'm standing up in it right now. I'm about 5'7", 5'8", something like that, and I can stand up in it without any problem at all. And I still have, a hand's width above me there. It's a fiberglass trailer, totally wrap-furred on the inside, or mostly wrap-furred. It's in the process of upgrades and restorations and so on, a little bit at a time. So let me go ahead and flip this phone around if I can, and kind of show you what the rest of it looks like. So this is the window facing the tongue. It is an emergency exit window, a hair window. So there are exit handles on there. The thing will open up and you can slide out of it if the other end of your trailer's on fire, I guess, or something's collapsed or something. Up here, a little cubby. I use this cubby to store the reflectite panels I put on the windows to try to keep the hot sun out on hot days. Down here is a really nice little bunk. It is a suspension bunk. It adjusts in size, made for a little person to kind of sleep over the feet or the heads of the people sleeping in the big bed. And so it comes out like this, and it goes to the next thing there. And now we've got a little hammock that somebody can lie in. We don't use it for that very much at all. Actually, we use it to store our bedding because most of the time we're on the road. This is a kind of little dinette configuration in here, and excuse me, it's a little bit messy. We're getting ready for a trip right now, so it's not exactly in the best shape. And this is the table, which I've got the pole for the table put away right now, but it sits right in the middle there, and there's two different places you can mount it. You can turn it two different orientations, and what it does is it allows you to use this as a dinette. We don't really do that very often. Most of the time what we do instead is bring this thing out here. We leave the bed in the bed configuration, and we really tend to live outside. The cushions need replacing in this trailer. It's one of my future projects. Some of the projects I've already done is I've taken everything out of this trailer. I mean everything, all the internal plastic parts and all. Ground out the old floor, which was a little bit spongy and damp, and put in a new marine plywood floor, and then covered that with some inexpensive vinyl that's pretty easy to wash. Another upgrade I've done is I've replaced the original converter, and the converter was really noisy. It had a big transformer to transform 110 volts AC into 12 volts DC, and it made a huge humming sound. You just couldn't sleep at night when that thing was on. So I replaced that. I took the old unit apart, took the stuff out of it that was already there, and rebuilt it. And what I have now is a system that has on the left side AC, on the right side DC, and they're inside the box. They're divided into two sections. The AC section has four marine circuit breakers, and it has there's several different outlets for different things that are on their own circuit breakers, and a master circuit breaker that's 15 amps AC 110. Over here on this side is a fitting for both running off the battery or running off the converter, and right now it's on the converter, showing 12 volts on the meter. I can turn the meter off at night so it doesn't keep me awake. You can see right now the battery's up to 1229, so it's doing actually better than the converter is in terms of voltage it's putting out. Well, you can actually adjust the converter wherever you want. At the bottom of the new AC panel is a GFCI, and everything AC runs through the GFCI so that all the other outlets are protected. And there's an outlet there, another outlet over on this side, and there's an outlet in the back over here. And the new outlets all have USB power on them because you're never going to have enough. There's also a 12 volt outlet in there. I don't even remember if it's hooked up right now or not, but There have been times when I've needed 12 volt DC accessories that came with a lighter plug, and that's what I used. Let's see what else is over here. On this side, there's a touch sensitive switch for the for some of the LED lights inside, and another outlet for the another AC outlet and a USB outlet. Up on top here is a fantastic vent and a fantastic fan. It really works well. I've done a lot of work on this thing over the years that I've had this trailer. It used to be that when Fantastic Vents owned this company, this patent, that there was a lifetime warranty, and I think I've replaced just about every part in this thing at one time or another. The last thing that went out was the motor, and this time I actually had to pay Atwood, the company that bought Fantastic Vents, because they've canceled the lifetime warranty, so now you have to pay for parts. But I was pretty glad to pay for it, because the new motor that I got and the new fan blade that I got was actually quite a bit of an upgrade over the old one, and I'm really pleased with what it's doing. I know the trim job's not wonderful. I know I can do some more work on it. It's on my list, but not for today. Over here, this used to be a 2-burner gas stove. Took that 2-burner gas stove out and replaced it with a piece of plywood, bolted down, and that's kind of a nice shelf for leaving your wallet and keys and stuff like that on at night. Over here, another shelf with an LED light underneath. Let's see, over here, a shelf with an LED light underneath, also a paper towel holder, because you can never have enough of those. And then, sorry for the mess, but we're in the middle of getting ready for a trip, so we're in cleanup mode. This is the sink, and there's about an 8 or 10 gallon water tank under the sink, and we use that mostly for just personal hygiene, toothbrush and things like that. Nothing, we don't wash dishes or anything like that in it. It's definitely not for that. There's a hand pump for that sink, also an electric pump, and also if you have city water hooked up to it, you have pressurized water hooked up to it, you can turn that water on and off with that pump. It's a 3-way pump. The switch for the pump is down there. Underneath here is a cabinet that we store our kind of our dishwashing supplies in. There's a couple of tubs we use for that. That when we get where we're going, we have a table that we take out and set up, and that becomes our kitchen. We put our stove on it and so on, and so we keep some of the supplies, some of the dishes, and some of the silverware and stuff like that, and cleaning solutions underneath the counter there. We've got a couple of cabinets over here, a couple of openings. The top one has things like tools and manuals and things like that for the trailer. The next one down has some miscellaneous storage, and also a box that has the parts we use for sealing up the trailer before we travel. I'll show you more about that in a minute. And then down at the bottom down here where that little fan is running, and you've probably been hearing that fan noise, I should have unplugged it. But what that is a room air conditioner. It's I think a 6,000 BTU room air conditioner. The putting it down there was kind of a problem, because it keeps the floor really cool, but it doesn't really help up top that much. So I've got a little room fan that I put next to it, and that blows the cool air up into the upper regions of the trailer. There is a bumper here, although this is actually a pretty tall trailer, and let's see if you can see me here. But there's that much space right there between the trailer and me. I need to tighten my tripod up. So yeah, it's pretty nice. There's a door. It's a regular door plus a screen door. We'll step outside here. The curtains. I didn't mention the curtains. This is kind of a cool hack there. The person who sold the trailer to us had made new curtains, and she went ahead and sewed pockets into them, because you can never have enough pockets in your life. So on both sides of the trailer there's pockets, a place to leave your wallet, your cell phone, or whatever. Now when you come down through this door, there's a chance that you might bump your head. So this piece that I put together here is a kind of a wood L-shaped piece, and it has foam wrapped around it, and then it has rat fur wrapped around that. I'm not sure who made that door, but there we go. outside light, of course. That's about the extent of our outside electronics right now. This is where the air intake, the hot air exhaust comes into the comes out of the air conditioner, and over here is where it comes in. Both of these holes are actually deck plates that are made for kayaks, and what you can do is you can actually when you're traveling, you take these things off. The screens and the little eyebrows are velcroed on. You take those off and screw the deck plates in. There's also a fitting underneath that allows the water, the condensate, to drain out. There's a little drain tray underneath it. And if you're interested in how I put this together, I do have a kind of a blog post on the Fiberglass RV site that explains how I put this together, and how it works and all that sort of stuff. It works really well, though, except for it being in the wrong place. It's too low. It should be higher, but I don't have a good place to do that. The trailer has really tiny wheels, tires. I think these are considered 8-inch tires. I just had them replaced recently. The old ones had plenty of tread, but they were starting to get cracked, and I figured it was a good time to do it. There's of course, a leveling guy right there to level it. I use the kind of the roll-on things you use to kind of get your one wheel higher than the other when you're on unlevel ground. And then at the very back there are fold-down jacks, stabilizers. They're really not made for leveling the trailer, though. They're really made for stabilizing it. You level it with the roll-on guys. There is an awning on this side, and the awning is a little bit funky. The awning itself is nice, but the bag that it's in is starting to deteriorate, and it needs a new bag. So one of these days I've got to find someone who can sew me a new bag. I believe there's companies that do that, at least one company, so it's on my list of things to do in the future when I have more time. This is the business end of the trailer down here, the towing end, and the two boxes are battery boxes. One of them has a deep cycle battery that needs replacing right now. The other one has has charge controllers and some of the other electronics that are part of the solar panel system on the roof. We'll look at that in just a second. I understand that this security system for my trailer is not the best for now. It's what I have, and I will think about upgrading that in the future. Also on this tongue, I do have another leveling device, and it helps me at least level the jack here on the front. I'm using these kind of connectors for my solar and battery charger, and this is the one coming from the solar connector. And I kind of went with that because it's the kind of connector that came with the battery charger and came with the solar panel, so it just made sense. I've got a permanent connection to my deep cycle battery. When I'm traveling, I just go ahead and plug in the solar panels. If I'm on dry camp somewhere where I don't have power, I plug in the panels to that thing, and it works pretty well. Although I've only got 45 watts of power, which is not very much, and so it's a problem over here. There used to be a port that allowed you to plug in. Well, actually, it was a port that had you reached into and you pulled out a cord and you connected it to power to run this thing. What I did was took that out, fiberglassed over the old hole, and put in a surface mount male plug, 15 amp, and I use that then to connect to the outside world and get my AC into the trailer. There's a drain outlet right here. Yes, it's even marked drain outlet, and so there's probably a little bit of water in the tank right now. Let's see if there is in the drain. Nope, nothing's come out. But the drain is handy. There's no gray water tank on this tiny little trailer. The trailer's only 8 feet long, so it's not really space for that. It's really low to the ground, so there's really no space for a gray tank. So what I do is I go ahead and open the drain up, and I put on a short little hose, and I put a house plant underneath it, and that's kind of, I call that my gray water treatment system. And so oftentimes we'll travel with a little rosemary bush or some basil or something like that I can stick underneath here and catch the drips as they come out, and it keeps the, especially plants that don't need very much water and don't mind being in the sun, it's a chance to kind of have fresh herbs with you when you travel. If you're in a campground that really has a serious problem with any gray water getting out, or if somebody doesn't like that, my backup plan, which I've never had to use, has been to carry a 5-gallon bucket with me and then just let it drain into the bucket, because I don't use that much, and when it's done, it's done. Well, that's it for my video of the LiteHouse trailer for two, a orphan trailer, but it's one that you can actually go out and buy today if you'd like to, because there are other vendors that sell the exact same thing, just with a little bit higher price tag. Hope you enjoyed the video, watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. I'll be doing a few more travel videos around camping and traveling with a small trailer, and have a whole bunch more Italian videos coming up that are waiting for me to find time to edit and post them. Hope you have a great day. Remember, love first, adventure second, and safety third.